First of all, why is it that we were all taught growing up that cute little rumor that the moon was made of cheese?
I honestly have no idea.
AJ and McCall at VFX. To me, this is like the elephants thing, like in Peanuts. Like, we all knew it.
Yeah.
It's not true. Why? Why is that a thing?
Did you ever watch, total side note, maybe gonna pull a memory from your brain that you forgot all about. Did you ever watch Wallace and Gromit? It's like a claymation thing.
Small amount.
I feel like that's where it kind of came from. Because like Wallace and Gromit, they do a whole thing where they like go to the moon and they like get cheese from the moon. Like they get the moon dust and it's like, oh, this is the best cheese ever. If I'm remembering correctly, or maybe I made that up. I don't know.
Maybe it's I always forget the Mandela effect. Maybe you grew up and it
Oh
was
my
that,
gosh.
and maybe everybody else
Wallace.
wasn't. Maybe.
And okay, it's still there. Cheese.
The reason I ask is because the other thing that I for sure thought I knew about the moon was that it was also a sphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Earth, just like the planets, all that.
Mhm.
Apparently not. It's lemon, which no.
It's just interesting to
No.
me that that's the case. I mean, I guess if you look at a lemon from the side, it looks round.
I guess it. So is that the way it is?
I
Then
don't
it's not.
know.
'Cause I guess I was just assuming that the poles were. So, but I guess if it was sideways, yeah, you'd probably be right. I wouldn't see anything but the sphere. I feel like this would have come up before. Why would this only come up? Did it happen recently? Did something happen to the moon? Someone just
No.
like pinched the edges and
Somebody
stretched it a
just
little bit.
squeezed it.
Like what? Just no. I'm just. You know what? No. You choose whether or not you believe Pluto's a planet or not. Most people, I think, just millennials decided, nah, it is. We give up. No, we're saying it is. So no, I'm saying the moon's a sphere, and I'm living with it. I'm not a scientist. I don't have to defend that to anybody. I'm just saying the moon's a sphere.
I don't know.
Kind of no. A lemon shape is just not as majestic as a sphere shape.
Hey, don't you talk bad about lemons. I like lemons.
I'm not saying I don't like
How
lemons.
dare you? AJ just said he completely hates lemons and he thinks they need to be abolished from the earth.
Okay, yeah, that was.
I heard it.
That was a bit far.
I heard
That's
it.
a bit far. It's just not as majestic a shape as spheres.
Sure. I
Don't
guess.
sure me. It is.
Meh. I don't know. I don't know how you find a more majestic shape. I thought stars were like the pinnacle. So it's like closer to a star if it's not a sphere. Right?
Why is a star shape when stars aren't actually shaped like that?
I don't know. Look, I have so many questions.
Now you started it.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
It's a star shape, right? You draw it and everybody says, yeah, that shape is star. But stars aren't shaped that way. They're generally also spheres or lemons. Who knows? Maybe every planet in the solar system is lemons, and they just decided, look, okay, we can talk about this now. We admitted that there's aliens. We've had tons of alien contact. Also, it's time to say everything's actually shaped like a lemon.
Ta-da!
Except your Uranus, that's a cube.
Yep.
What is happening? What is happening? Okay, that being said, yesterday's poll of the day was who is a bigger jinx, and it involved a vote between me and McCall. And this one specifically had to do with our potential future weddings. And with that being the case, it's kind of hard not to see what the final take on that one is. It is official. McCall and I have both put ourselves in a position to jinx a potential future wedding. AJ and McCall on VFX, and that's the poll today, which I think is still open for a couple hours if you really wanted to vote.
Yes.
But I thought, okay, with something that serious on the line, definitely wanted to see what the updated vote was.
Well, yeah, and we need your votes to tell us what the case is.
Yeah, because I'm not happy with the results at the
Oh
moment.
no, AJ's not happy.
AJ and McCall at VFX. The way we potentially jinxed it, so this happened a while ago, but I'm sure you've seen the video, and if not, it's on our YouTube, Utah's VFX.
Uh-huh.
I have proposed to strangers four times.
Yeah, I mean it was in one sitting, but there were 4 strangers.
And it was Valentine's Day.
And it was
which I feel like
Valentine's
is
Day.
a crucial detail.
Yes.
On top of that, McCall has now shot a video wearing a wedding dress that she purchased.
Yep.
Which, by the way, AJ A&D McCall on Instagram.
Yep.
You should definitely find that. You will see it. And Facebook. You will see it.
Yes.
So the
it
question
will
was-
be coming out. I'm very excited.
Yeah. The question was, okay, so obviously, if you're a little bit of a traditionalist when it comes to weddings, these could be seen as potential jinxes here. The fragile event that is a wedding going into it, right? Because there's all the things, right? You can't buy a used engagement ring and all that stuff.
Sure.
62% of people said I'm the bigger jinx.
Yep.
It's not even close.
Is
60-40. It's even worse than that, obviously, but 60-40. So I'm the bigger jinx.
Is that on Facebook?
On my Instagram, that's what it is.
On your Instagram?
Utah's VFX's Instagram. I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm a little shocked. I mean, I would have guessed because we've had this conversation before about like jinxing a wedding, wearing a used wedding dress, etc. This was an ugly wedding dress that I tried to buy from I just got it at the DI. And I'm sorry, AJ. I'm sorry that you're the bigger jinx.
How dare you?
I'm really not.
Yeah, that's what I said. How dare you?
Sorry.
Preemptively, I was on top of that.
Sorry.
Jeez. So let it be known. You can wear a wedding dress. You can buy an ugly wedding dress. You can even video a wedding dress. As long as your significant other has gotten down and it fake proposed a few times, you're in the clear. You're not going to be the one that jinxed the wedding. So, woo.
Woo.
There's no denying that drunk adults and young kids run on the same kind of chaotic energy.
Oh, yeah.
That's why everybody's favorite game is drunk adult or kid. Your crazy story, which one was it? We can deny it all we want, but the fact of the matter is drunk adults and kids run on the same kind of chaotic energy.
Yes.
So who doesn't love sharing silly stories and making a fun game out of it like we do for the Automatrix Group Debate at 8 with AJ McCall at VFX? And I'm so glad that people have shared some of their stories with us. Are you ready, McCall?
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, you're up first. What's your story?
So the story is I dove headfirst into a Christmas tree to get one of my parents' attention.
What do you got, McCall? Drunk adult or kid?
I'm going to go with kid.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a big act out, right? If you're a kid, or if you're a drunk adult, excuse me, and you're like, tackle the Christmas tree.
I got it.
All right, Jeremy. McCall says kid, so I get drunk adult. What is it?
Drunk adult.
Yes!
So I was at my dad's company Christmas party, and I was doing some karaoke, and I'm singing all of his favorite songs, and he's totally ignoring me. And so to get his attention, I did a beeline across the lobby and dove headfirst into the Christmas tree.
Look, so McCall, do you remember when we...
Oh, no, I'm nervous. I don't like do you remember when we...
No, we talk about this, some kind of or holiday get-together come up, right? What is the one rule with work events? You try to get out there without being a ridiculous story.
Oh, yes.
Now, Dad, especially with, drunk adult kid.
Rough.
That's going to be a story for a while.
Rough.
Okay, Thomas, you're next. What's your story?
So I poured a huge cooler full of cold red Kool-Aid all over my neighbor's 90-year-old grandparents while they were in a jacuzzi just hanging out.
I'm going to go on this one. That's got to be a drunk adult move. Thomas, I'm impressed. I mean, if it's a kid, I'm impressed. But I'm gonna go with drunk adult.
Doesn't Kool-Aid stain your skin? Like, isn't that a thing?
I mean, if it sits on for a while, yeah.
I mean, I wish I could go.
Oh man, then you gotta clean it out.
I don't own one, but I've heard it's a pain.
Ugh.
I wish I could go with drunk adult because I agree. Because I just can't imagine a kid having the patience to make the Kool-Aid and then not like drink it or whatever. But that being said, Thomas, which is it?
I was a little kid.
Oh!
My best friend dared me to do it, and he filmed it. And actually, I ended up going to military school because of it.
Wow.
And I don't talk to him anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk to him anymore either. If somebody sent me to military school, I definitely wouldn't talk to him. Wow.
I mean, okay, maybe military school's a bit extreme, but
maybe.
My worst experience with Kool-Aid is if anybody watches wrestling, it's usually Japanese. Sometimes the luchador wrestlers do like those fireballs and they'll spit like mist, right?
Sure.
I thought a Kool-Aid, it's the same thing, right? It's the color.
No.
That stuff like concaved my face because of how
It's so
hard
sour.
it was. Yes.
Ugh.
Oh, it was worst.
It's making
right.
my mouth water right now. I don't like it. Ugh.
All right, Rhonda, 2 for 2. What's your story?
So I dropped my brand new ice and cone down a sewer, and I just started to weep uncontrollably in front of all of my friends.
I'm gonna go with drunk adult on this one.
This isn't fair. McCall weeps uncontrollably all the time.
How
she has
dare you.
experience with this.
How dare you?
Would you weep over spilled ice cream?
Yeah.
That seems like just enough. Okay, so I get kid then.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see it either way. Let's be honest, especially now this time of year. But all right, I get kid. What is it, Rhonda?
Drunk adult. I was just so drunk and so hungry. My friends and I talked about this specialty ice cream shop in Miami all day long, and they were closing. We finally got there, and I got the last ice and cone for the night, and not even 5 minutes later, I just dropped it down the sewer drain.
Oh.
You make a special trip. You get the last
Yep.
one, and
When we were in Montana, we stopped in Virginia City, and they have a specialty ice cream shop up there, and it was really good. And I could see myself sober crying over an ice cream cone if I had spilled it. I would be so sad.
look, McCall's been. We've gone to conferences in Chicago.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite restaurants exists there, Portillo's.
Yeah.
They have a very famous chocolate cake shake. I love that. I
Did I
get
get
it
that
every time I go.
I think
Yes,
I got
you
that
did.
one. I don't
If
remember.
I drop that, not only would I cry, anybody in a 10-foot radius just better run. I'm swinging.
There's
Just angry tantruming.
watch the punches.
I'll share one more story for you.
Oh, good.
I was with some people, and I was leaning against a wall, and someone said to me, "All right, AJ, I think you're done." And I said, "No, I'm not." And they said, "You can't even stand upright." I said, "Yes, I can. I just like leaning."
Oh, nice.
Drunk adult or kid?
That's drunk adult.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, you can always share your stories, of course, stay anonymous. We had one that actually came in Messenger yesterday, and then it ended up going off on a completely different tangent. We talked about quote-unquote backup messes where you walk into the room, you're like, nope, and you just leave. Nope, not dealing with this. But you can leave voicemail 435-787-0945, and we can play with all the funny stories, and it'll be fun. Well, we already heard drunk adult or kid, so we've already kind of worked our way through chaotic energy. I think I'm totally ready for Florida Not on VFX. AJ and McCall, 3 headlines, please.
Okay, we got headline number 1. Some guy got arrested after taking a taxi to rob his local bank. And then he took the taxi back home. Just wait here for a second. I gotta go inside real fast and I'll meet you out here.
So fast.
Idiot.
So fast.
There's story 1. Story number 2, a one-legged man is accused of kicking a police officer. It's impressive.
Dang.
Yeah. And then headline number 3, a fugitive rented a helicopter to fly to a police station and turn himself in. If you're going to go out, I
Wait,
guess go out in style.
That's an entrance
Question
right there.
mark?
That is not how I thought that was going.
No. So there you go. 3 crazy stories.
Wow. Those things aren't cheap either. We joke about them all the time here at work.
Dude, I know.
AJ and McCall at VFX for the Integra Financial Services, Florida or not. Well, you know what they say, Kate. There's a saying that said busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. I guess we're about to figure out how busy that is.
Gosh.
Like, come on. McCall's rubbed off on me. You can't blame me. 3 full stories, please.
Okay, so we got story number 1. Some guy named Elijah. He's done some crazy things because he called a taxi to his house and took a ride over to a bank. He robbed the bank. He made a getaway in the same taxi. Told him, hey, just stay here. I'll be real fast.
So fast.
I'll be real quick. Okay? He got $8,000. And then,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't turn that down, but that's really not that much money.
No. So he got $8,000 and he got arrested at his house because he went directly back home in the same taxi. But they say that the money was not found? ? Where'd it go? I don't know.
The taxi driver was in on it the whole time.
Yep.
Oh, I solved it.
So there's story 1. Then we got story number 2. A one-legged man is accused of kicking a police officer after being arrested in a bar. Based on observations, this guy's apparent level of intoxication, police believe he was unable to safely care for himself. They said, hey, where do you live? Is there someone close who can take custody of you? And he said, no, my ex-wife cannot take custody of me. Yeah, okay.
They didn't say
Great.
that. They asked if there's anyone. That's projected right there. McCall says that was what that was. No, don't take me.
He was being taken into custody. An officer asked if there was anything in his pockets that could stick or hurt them. He said, yeah, I got 5 things. I got 1 leg that'll poke you. And then he grabbed his leg and smacked the guy with it. Homeboy, you can't do that.
What?
So there's story 2. And then story number 3, a wanted fugitive hid out in the woods for 5 weeks, hired a helicopter to pick him up so he could turn himself in. Now, this guy is 32 years old. I guess as he was hiding in the wilderness, he says that it was a great time, actually. So before he went to the police station, he took a friend along for a champagne and oyster lunch. Outside the police station, he said the 5 weeks in the woods were pretty great because he got to do a lot of yoga.
Apparently, this dude was just like, yeah, He must have reached clairvoyance out there, and he was like, all
serious.
right,
He's like, all right.
I definitely stepped out of line. I need to do this.
I'm sorry, let's go. But if I'm going, we're going in style. I'm getting oysters and champagne.
He Jared Leto'd out into the woods and then came back a new man.
Anyway, I guess he was facing several charges, including assault with a weapon, wounding with intent, wounding. Ha. Thanks. I don't know how to read. Anyway, there you go. 3 crazy stories.
All right, Kate. Well, I think we can rule out story number 3 because, I mean, technically, usually when we do this, it's the people that actually did something. I know he did, but the story itself, he, reached inner peace, apparently. So I don't think we look at that one at all. I think it's 1 or 2. 1 or 2. What do you think?
I'll go 1.
I'm kind of thinking the same thing, too, because unless the taxi driver really is on it, like I said, the fact that you took a taxi there gives a witness. You told the taxi to wait gives still that witness because he took you again, and then he dropped you off somewhere where when the police go, where did you take him? But, oh, it was right here. That's just, it's so stupid. So, yeah, I think we go with 1. McCall, is it story number 1?
It is. Congratulations. Woo! We got you hooked up with an Aquatech car wash. Hang on the line. We'll grab some info from you, okay?
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Man, oh, there you go, McCall. We got the long weekend. Maybe you got to wander out in the woods and do 5 weeks of yoga. Apparently, you just become inner peace.
Apparently, I'm just going to go out and wound.
I'd prefer you not do
I
that.
can't figure out what that means. Why did I struggle with that word so much?
No idea. Congratulations to Kate. She wins Florida Not on VFX. Can I tell you, though, speaking of the guy in story number 3, so we joke here at work all the time about renting a helicopter because we got towers up in the mountains, and they're crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Crazy expensive. So this weekend is my birthday, and Ashley's planned some things, and I have no idea really what we're doing. She's got control of the whole thing.
Surprise.
But
Helicopter.
she let no, I know that's not happening because she let me know there was one particular thing she really wanted to do, but it is crazy expensive as well, and it does involve being in the air. And I know that you missed out on getting to go as well.
Uh-oh.
Let me first claim I have absolutely no reference point for a price point when it comes to this particular event, but we were talking about the guy in Florida Not that rented a helicopter. AJ and McCall on VFX, and I don't know if it's consistent, but I'd imagine it's pretty expensive across the board. We joke about it all the time here at work. We found out what the numbers are. They're
spendy. For sure. For sure.
So this weekend's my birthday, and Ashley and I are going down to Park City just to get away, get out of town, right? And she let me know. I have no idea what's going on, but she let me know one of the events we couldn't do because it was, which is crazy expensive, was riding in a hot air balloon. And the reason we decided not to do it is because she said it was $300 a person.
That actually doesn't surprise me.
How does that not surprise you?
Because they're expensive to run.
That clearly
I
they
mean,
are.
in order to get them going and whatever, they're spendy.
I had no idea it was that expensive.
But let's chat about that for a second, because I'm pretty sure that it's spendy also because it's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, I mean, I chalked part of it up to being
Yeah.
Park City and part of it up to that, but I was still just blown away. And I'm sure fuel's I got it, but also I was like, yay.
Yeah.
Lower. Nothing against it. I'm just saying, it's not, the helicopter makes sense to me. It's the whole thing, whatever. I just didn't expect it to be that crazy expensive. It blew my mind.
I mean, it's like a whole, I decided I was going to look it up because I was curious about it. But it's like an hour. Your trip's like an hour. So you go around for a while. I can't even imagine an hour's worth of fuel in a hot air balloon. I mean, just if you think about it.
You just,
because it's
and then you just let the wind kind of take you wherever. And then you back down.
Oh, that looks pretty. Oh, that looks pretty. Oh my gosh.
All right, you go then.
No thanks. I don't want to spend the money on it.
To quote one of my favorite shows, you're afraid of hot air balloons, aren't you? It's wicker propelled by fire!
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
But apparently, I was blown away that it was that expensive. I did not expect that.
Hold up. Because I feel like I'm having a very dumb moment
I'm listening.
for brief. Did people travel this way? Often? Was this an often form of transportation?
I don't think
where
it was
people
hot air
were
balloons. It was Zeppelins.
Come on, Toto, get in. We're going to Grandma's.
If the wind will carry us that way.
I mean,
Let me get my Pocahontas on and make sure it takes us the direction we need to go.
I just don't know. I was just curious.
I believe it was Zeppelins. Zeppelins was the way that people traveled.
Did they last for a long time?
No,
Because last I
because
checked, they kind of there
the
was one that was
Hindenburg
not
happened,
great.
and then that killed it.
They were like, you know what? Let's not. Let's not do that.
This history lesson brought to you by.
Where the crap did they carry them?
I don't know. I just don't feel like there's a lot of space up there either.
It looks like you can fit 12 people
All right.
max.
Welcome to AJ McCall crap on the hot balloon industry. Like, I'm sure it's great. Like, I don't want to poo-poo at all. I just was blown away that it was that expensive. I'm sure McCall's right that the weekend is a big part of it, and also it is Park City, and I'm sure that's a big part of it too. I was just like, she's like, I wanted to do this. I was like, that sounds great. She's like, it's $300 a person. I'm like, absolutely not.
Yes, a little spendy.
I'll just get a bunch of blown up balloons at Walmart, and we're gonna do the same thing. It'll be fine.
They went a max of 84 miles an hour. Wow.
That's fast.
That is.
That is surprisingly fast.
Yeah.
But actually, I was thinking about this. I have no control of this weekend. So I'm assuming that means at some point, some server somewhere are going to have the unfortunate duty of singing to me, which I hate.
Uh-huh.
And heaven forbid they bring out a cake with a candle on it. Because I just realized, we just came out of COVID.
Right.
What's the policy for that anymore?
Not.
Don't get me started on how much I do not like the pomp and circumstance that surrounds public birthdays. Like, for everybody else, you like it, that's great. I hate being sung to.
I love it.
You enjoy it.
Give me all the attention.
Have it. AJ and McCall on VFX. So this weekend's my birthday, and I'm also not going to look at cake the same way for a while after freaking video that's going to be out on the AJ and McCall Instagram and Facebook page coming soon.
He's going to be so good.
No. But this weekend's my birthday, and I'm hands off the wheel. Ashley's taking care of the whole thing, which I can only assume since, everybody enjoys embarrassing others for a little bit.
For sure.
That's going to happen.
But
and then I
sure.
had a realization. I was like, what if they put a candle on the cake? Wait, am I allowed to blow on the candle? Like, I got my vaccine and stuff, but that just doesn't, that seems
Now
tactless.
I'm spitting all over the cake.
Yeah.
I don't know why we did that in the first place. Like, looking back, like, wow. Germs.
I mean,
well,
I got the wish thing. Can you do the straw thing where you flick it and be like, if you get the
Totally.
thing, then
just
broken
flick it
or-
over
you
and
got the
over
big
and over
half, you
again.
get the
Call it
wish or
good.
something. Yeah, something else.
I think you can. Kids, please don't try this at home. I think you can flick the candle and then just like.
That's not what I was thinking, but all right, I'm in.
I mean, it's not
I'm in.
terrible.
I'm gonna try that. I get a candle on a cake. I'm flicking it. I'm doing it this weekend. It's done.
Okay.
It's been decided.
Get it filmed because yes, I think you can do that. I think you can also like wave your hand over top of it and
You
be like,
could do
"Go
that.
away, fire!"
I mean, if you really needed to wish, you could just
yeah,
whoosh.
whoosh. Oh my gosh! Wow, my dreams
and
came
not
true.
spit on the cake.
Oh my gosh! So there's some guy who created an invention. I don't remember where he was at, like Virginia or somewhere over there, and he decided he was going to create this invention while he was in COVID because he decided even before COVID and everything hit, he wanted to create a germless way to blow out the candles on the cake. Y'all, can we just agree if you don't want germs on your candle cake, just don't put candles on your cake.
Yeah, I was
Don't
kinda,
light them.
That's my. Can we just stop?
Just
Like,
don't.
Let's just not do
Okay?
it.
Whatever.
Let's
It's
just
fine.
let's make flickable wicks.
Flickable wicks. Patent pending. So I
Flicks
think
wicks.
Flixwix.
There you go.
That one may already exist. I don't know yet.
Crap.
So anyway, he created this thing where it's basically like a straw, but it has a fan on the end of it, which when I look at it, it's like, okay, so now you're just propelling it more than it ever could have been propelled
What?
before. But they say that the pressure in it creates some sort of resistance that causes the spinny to spin.
Let's
Motor?
let's just not do it. How about
Yeah.
that? Let's
Yeah.
just not do it. Cool.
I just think you
Cool.
just flick it and call it good.
I'm telling you, if I get a candle on a cake this weekend, I will indeed do that.
Good. Get it filmed.
Which means I'll probably hit the candle. Now I'm flicking fire across the restaurant or whatever. Now we got
AJ.
that to deal with. Now I'm banned from another place.
AJ, the flamethrower.
The flame flicker, thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Which sounds, of course, way more intimidating.
No.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Flame flicker sounds like the son of flamethrower who hasn't quite grown into his powers. Oh, boy.
Accidentally lights the whole city on fire.
Constantly
Ah,
has issues
dang
with
it.
fire. Friday is today, which is great news with the holiday weekend coming up. Also means we're going to find out who is the worst parker in Cache Valley this week. And I mean, ahead of a long holiday weekend where people are going to get out and about, maybe get to Bear River, all that. I
Bear
can't.
Lake, not Bear River.
No, they're going to go to Bear River. That's the place to be, McCall. But sure, Bear Lake probably great too. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of consistent, very symmetrical, not messed up parking this holiday weekend, right?
That's bold of you to
No,
assume.
I completely right.
Yeah.
You can get it in for next week. Fun fact, McCall just shouts numbers at you, and then she says, this is what I said.
This is what I said.
Somehow, 50-40 changed into 50-50, but it was 55-45. She's like, dub.
Yep.
What? It's about cats and what paw they are.
Yeah, left-handed.
Ridiculous. AJ and McCall on VFX. We already figured out who the worst backseat drivers are in our families. For McCall, it was your youngest sibling. For me, mom. Complete agreement. Talked to some siblings the other day, just kind of get the murmurs around. Yep, mom.
Ha.
And maybe, just maybe, I can't decide. Do you think if you had an annoying backseat driver, you would park better? Or that's what inspires bad parking because you're just like, just get me out of the vehicle.
Mostly that.
Okay, so we can blame backstreet drivers for park narcs as
Sure
well.
can.
Nominee number 1 this week, a big old truck that said, hey, I need these 2 spots, but to really solidify the fact that I'm a tool, I'm going to back in and have no effort whatsoever to park correctly.
Nope.
Jerk. And then nominee number 2, there's enough room for someone else now.
It's very thoughtful.
The only caveat I would give to nominee number 2 is they tried to remember something about those special needs spots. Like, I know I'm not supposed to park here, I think. So instead, they put both wheels slightly in the spot, so there's definitely not room for somebody else anyway. And then they parked on the stripy rectangle thing, which is supposed to be there in case people have a ramp or they have the extended doors, whatever they need the extra space for. Good job.
Crushed it. Wow.
Make sure you vote. Utah's VFX is pinned at the top of our Facebook page multiple times each week. That could win you McDonald's, including submitting Park Narc nominees. Whitney won yesterday. We got to get her hooked up, and we're going to have another winner today, of course, with the Narker, not Parker, rewarded for finding the worst parking spot in Cache Valley. Safely submit your parking spot snafus to Utah's VFX, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Again, Utah's VFX. Now, with Park Narcs, McCall, it's kind of a forced confession.
Yes.
Because obviously we have the narkers take the pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of forced into saying, hey, look, this guy's a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
We started Friday Confessionals. We even did our own little spiel on that last Friday afternoon where McCall and I started confessing.
Yep.
And it just felt good for the soul. So why stop? Friday Confessionals, because it's just such a good idea to get it off your chest before we go into the weekend with AJ and McCall on VFX. The best part is it's kept completely anonymous.
Yeah.
Messages to our social media, Utah's VFX. Text messages, 68255. The number to text. Start your text with VFX just to get it off your chest. Like, my work uses customer satisfaction surveys as a measure of success. Unfortunately, the only customers that ever fill them out are those that complain. So it skews the results down.
Yeah.
Unless I spend an afternoon on my laptop with a VPN each period filling out glowing reviews, which I do.
Oh. Not that we're suggesting you should do this, but maybe it'll help you. Help you help yourself. Right?
It's about balance, McCall. It's about balance.
We got a message that says, I instigated a conversation with my mom about her favorite music. Not that I'm interested. I just needed some ideas for her funeral.
Oof.
Oof is right. Oof is right. Very uncomfortable.
Oof. This one actually hits close to home for me. I was just having a conversation
no.
with someone yesterday about this.
Wait, funeral one?
No.
Oh,
this one-
gosh.
This one I was
Wow.
reading. Sorry, I was looking at another one. No.
Holy cow.
By the way, funeral playlists have like,
Oh, yeah.
like that's a new thing.
Oh, yeah.
Which I got to be honest, I'm kind of okay with.
It's a trend on
I want,
TikTok,
I
by
want
the
some
way.
jams.
Oh, yeah.
I want some jams. Like McCall and I have been talking about this. It's supposed to be a celebration of life.
Correct.
Get me some jams.
Correct.
Okay. I was 14 at school, and I was bullied by a classmate into giving him jelly beans every time I annoyed him. So I got my mom to get me a pack every time, almost weekly, which led her to believe I loved them. Every Christmas or birthday, I get a pack from her, and I actually can't stand them.
Oh.
I just had this conversation yesterday with my brother. A certain family member of ours doesn't pay attention to anything and just thinks things are funny. So we both get this. And his is, there used to be this place that we used to live near, like did Dr. Pepper jelly beans.
Yeah.
He said he tried them the first time. They were terrible. They taste nothing like Dr. Pepper. But that family member thought they were hilarious and remembered he liked Dr. Pepper. So he got them like 17 more times.
Are you
He threw them
serious?
away every time.
Oh, my gosh.
He was like, I told him enough times, like, these aren't good. I don't want them. And then all they remembered was I like Dr. Pepper. So they just kept getting them.
Oh, that is terrible. I don't like that. So confession for me sometimes, and this is more relatable, I feel like, to other people. Sometimes.
That funeral playlist thing is super.
Not that, no.
Go ahead.
Sometimes when it comes to like laundry and stuff, I suck at it. And so then I have to rewash it like 4 different times because I'm really bad at it.
I could beat that. When I was a kid, to avoid folding laundry, I would just throw stuff back into the dirty clothes.
Ah, yeah.
Then it would get washed 2 or 3 times.
I've done that one before.
Oh my gosh. Again, you can send them anonymously. Utah's VFX, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Of course, you can always text 68255. Start your text with VFX. Confessional Fridays. It's good for the soul. Speaking of confessions, I've got one for you. So to me, and I feel like shows and sitcoms have covered this a lot, but to me, when you go out on a couple date, like a double date, that's like you're dating that other couple, right? You're trying to find someone that's compatible couple-wise because you want them to do the same things and no lulls in the conversation, right?
Yeah.
I have never double dated in my life.
What?
Never.
Weird.
Never. Ashley and I met a couple that we really kind of like, and we've got some friends here and there. So the question is, like, how help? Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that Ashley and I haven't hung out with other couples, because we definitely have, but we really haven't, like, done a double date thing. Like a consistent one. Like, you can go out once or whatever, but I just don't think it's the same thing. AJ McCall at VFX. Well, we met a couple that were like, oh, they're really cool. We should go do something with them. But the thing is, that's couples versions of dating each other, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got to get to know each other, make sure you're all cool, whatever, so there's good conversation. You like the same things. It's couples dating couples is really what it is.
Yeah.
So how? I have no idea. Like this.
Do I look like I have friends? Okay. What?
Well, this will be a good learning experience or painfully traumatic. Either way, it's going to be a good story for both of us.
Score. So, flashback to when we were living in Vernal, there was somebody who came into the bank, and I felt like we would just, like, relationship-wise, I felt like we would be a good, like, couple pair, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we could, like, hang out and whatever. Well, they were like, yeah, come over. You and Dustin can come over. We'll have dinner. We'll watch whatever. We'll just hang out. Sucked. It was terrible. They were like, yeah, we're just going to, like, watch Family Guy and...
That sound great.
It really sucked.
That didn't sound great.
It really sucked. Like, I was expecting something
It's a very
different.
boring. It's a very boring first date.
Yeah. So anyway, flashback last weekend, I decided I was going to have some friends over because I was like, hey, I mean, why not? You know, we live in the same town. We could be friends. And
Yeah.
so they came over. We had like burgers and like a fire and drinks. And it was just like a good time. Like, it was kind of fun.
Maybe that's the key then. Maybe
I'm
it's not
just-
to go one-on-one. You got to be casual first. Get a few
Yes.
couples together.
I mean, there was just 2 of us. Like, it was just,
Oh,
it was just like,
Wow, you went super all out. That's
Yeah.
a huge gesture first date. Well, if it went well, it went well.
Look, AJ, I figure that if I over-deliver, then maybe people will like me, okay? So
But then how do you keep it up if from this hints their fourth? You can have a
I
lull in
just
the...
keep doing it. Like,
Oh,
I'm just, whatever.
luck.
So, anyway, there's that. And then I went and hung out with somebody this week, and they just moved here, and we were just chatting, and she was like, do you guys want to maybe, like, we could, like, go out, hang out, like, couples? And I was
knew
like,
I
totally.
came to the right person.
Totally. We totally could. We haven't yet, but we totally could. I mean, literally, I just went and met her on Wednesday. But it's like, I feel like you got to throw a lot of things at the wall and pray they stick.
You know what stinks about this, though?
Patience.
That.
That.
Anytime patience is involved, yes. But
That's
what's
the
my
big
favorite
worst.
thing about being in a serious relationship? I don't have to date anymore.
Right.
What sucks about trying to become friends with other couples? It's basically dating again.
I know. It's like you got to put your best foot forward or something. It's crazy.
Speaking of dating, I feel like it's a cliche. Nobody pays attention. Like if you go out on a blind date or a date with someone, nobody pays attention to what someone tips, right? Or like overly like cranes their neck about it. One guy went out of his way to be like, "Oh, I'm a hot shot. I'm a big tipper."
Just kidding. I'm a D-bag.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, that was factual, what McCall said. Now, no bones about it. The AJ and McCall show is very pro-tipping.
Yes.
The Auto Matrix Group debate at 8 on VFX. So how do we resist a story where a guy takes a lovely lady out for dinner? takes her out for a nice dinner. The bill ends up being like $220. So they went out. He wined and dined her.
He did. He said he wanted to go above and beyond. All of the caviar and the fancy appetizers and the nice drinks and all that.
And then I
jazz.
imagine he did something where he like really puffed his chest out and was like holding the check up well within eyesight, like 4 feet in front of him.
Did
He
a
was
little
like, "Oh,
peacocking here.
what's the math on this? I'm gonna tip $100. I think that sounds reasonable.
That should be great. It was a $230 bill or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 220, 225. Yeah,
something like that. I don't know.
So of course you're like, all right, well this can't end this way because
No.
AJ and McCall are talking about this guy
No.
must be a tool somehow. Yeah. So he walked his date to his car, said, "Oh crap, I forgot something." Went inside and said, "Hey, that 100. Can you make that a 7, please?"
Just $7. Not a
7.
700. Not the one a 7. No. The whole thing, $7, which is, I don't math, but just trash. Hot garbage.
Just for math point, 10% of that check would have been $20. Just FYI. So kudos to the waitress who came out, and I'm sure, I don't even know, McCall, you can tell me if it's wrong or not, but I would think it would be a safety policy just to make sure that nobody can, do it the other way around. That since he did that, the waitress came out and said, "Well, if you wanted to change it from $100 to $7,
You
we need
have
you to sign a new
autograph it.
receipt."
Yep.
Yeah.
We got to give you a brand new thing. You got to autograph it. You got to sign it. We got to get the details on it. So we can't just change it. And the internet is like actually quite up in arms over this about whether she was a jerk. People are saying that she's a jerk for coming out and calling him out. Which I don't really think so. He's a jerk for saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this."
Yes.
Just kidding. I just want to front and look good.
And he didn't even tip 10 to 20%. He
No.
tipped like 3.5%.
Yeah.
He tipped 3.5%.
Jerk. Total jerk move.
So yes, he's a tool. I'm good with it because if you think about it too, I would just reverse it. They could do the exact same thing if someone came along and then changed your whatever, like if it was 7 and then wrote 700.
Yeah.
Same thing. Just saying. That being said, I would definitely notice if someone was a bad tipper, but the concept, like to me, the huge red flag right off the get-go is that the guy was like, "Yes, I'm going to tip $100. Yes,
I would like to put $100 on this.
You should be a good tipper.
Yeah.
You should. But I got to be honest, if I was dating right now, I don't think a move like that is like, oh, marry me, AJ. Oh my gosh, you're the one. I don't see it.
No, but I do notice when it comes down to like bad tipping, like anywhere we go, regardless of if somebody else gets the bill, I always tip. I always do because I'm worried that they're not going to tip well. And as somebody who has worked like wait service, I get nervous about that because we've been with people who were like, "Yeah, we got the bill. Don't worry about it." And then they tip like $1.50. And then they're like,
would
"Oh,
suck
well,
because-
if they really wanted to earn their keep, they needed to la 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 la." And that kind of thing like infuriates me because I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, in that situation, I think it would be more proactive because, like, I was thinking separate. But if you're joined together, then you all just basically you're like, "Oh, these guys all suck."
Yes. So I immediately feel terrible, and it's like I don't know if the people that we're with are actually going to tip you well. So I apologize. Like, and there have been groups of people that I've been with that it's like, "Oh man, I can't believe that they didn't bring me out my drink fast enough. You get 0 tip." Like that infuriates me.
I know those people.
So I do pay attention to how much people tip. I do. I'm not necessarily to the point of like craning my neck, but glancing over.
Yes.
Yeah. Glancing over
Let's
and
get a
seeing
picture. Click.
how much there is that you're tipping. I do pay attention.
I don't do that. Like, I went out with a few couples earlier this week, and we all got separate checks, obviously, and I didn't look at that.
Right.
Because I don't know, I just don't think about that. But I'm not with McCall. Like, I have family. I know my friend group. I know my family members, what they generally tip. And I can tell you there are family members specifically I don't really like going out to eat with because it's every time we get the check, it is a royal pain in the butt when it comes to that conversation. And it makes me feel terrible inside.
Well, yeah, of
so
course.
I just avoid it by not spending time with them.
Yeah, that's fair.
That being said, this whole thing obviously seals the deal. He ain't getting a second date.
No.
Nor should he.
I mean, I hope not. Maybe she's also a trash human and they went on a second date, but I don't know. That's the case.
Maybe.
Match made in hell.
And you would also think that's got to be one of the awkward first dates. And yeah, it's pretty bad. But trust me, it gets really tough to top the McCall Taylor when it comes to terrible first dates.
Thanks.
Well, there's no denying getting busted trying to drop a $100 tip down to a $7 tip. That'd be pretty awkward, and I would hope that dude doesn't get a second date.
Oh, please.
AJ and McCall for the Automatrix Group debate at 8 on VFX. But when it comes to really awkward first dates, it's really tough to beat some of McCall's stories.
Well, I don't know why you say that, AJ. I mean, I just think back and I remember going on a date with a kid when I was in high school who ended up buying me a milkshake, and I didn't really like it. And he said, "You better drink that or else I'm going to drop you off on the side of the road," I think is what he said. And I was like, I don't want to drink it. Like, you're not going to tell me that I can and can't. I don't want to. It's gross. It's nasty.
She just spilled it.
Oops. He did. He dropped me off on Valley View Highway. I had to call my mom, and I was like,
spilled it, not you. Jeez.
"Oh, yeah, no." He dropped me off, and I had to call my mom, and I was like, "Yo, mom, yeah, this guy's a tool. Like,
Clearly.
no, I'm not gonna go on a date with him again." But for some reason, I was like, I still like had a crush on him, but I was like, you're kind of like a d-bag.
That should have 1,000
Well,
million
it wasn't
percent.
like I didn't try and pursue it afterwards,
Thank
but I was
goodness.
like really bummed. I was like, man,
Yeah, well, sometimes
but I
people
liked
are,
you.
Sometimes people are tools.
Wow, it's rude. And it wasn't one of those that it's like, part of me wonders if like he did it on purpose because he's like, girls like bad guys. Like, you're gross.
I mean,
it's disgusting.
Bad guys is definitely not dropping a lady off on the side
Well,
of the
I
road. and be
don't-
like, good luck.
AJ, I wouldn't classify that as good. I mean, it's
I wouldn't
bad.
either, but
That's bad.
That's not bad boy. That's like serial killer.
Oh, totally.
Nobody's like, oh, Ted. I mean, okay, take it there.
Well, yeah, lots of people are
I
like,
can't wait
"Oh,
to take
Ted
him home to
Bundy."
mom.
That's terrible. There was that one. There was another one that I got asked to a dance, and it was with somebody that I didn't really know, and we went out and they like made dinner and it was fine. Like we had like spaghetti and whatever. And then we were at the dance, and as we were dancing, he like tried to kiss me, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Well, I was gonna kiss you," and I was like, "No, I got that, but like, why?" He's like, "Well, because I made you dinner, so like you should kiss me." And I was like,
Duh.
"No." And then I was like, I'm done. I don't want to dance with you anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. You're very awkward. This was the worst. It's terrible.
My favorite is Ashley told me once upon a time that she was going to go on a first date with a guy that was in the military, was ex-military. She likes to shoot. She's gone hunting with her dad, and so
Yeah.
he likes to shoot.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
he's like, let's go shooting. And she's like, great. And then he drove her into the middle of the desert, and that's where they went shooting. And she's told me that story. And every time I'm like, hey, murder me. Let's do
Right.
it. Like, you're just walking into that situation. What are you doing?
You know, looking back at some of the situations, you're like, that's not really great.
No, it's dumb. It's extremely
Lapse
dumb.
in my judgment. Little bit of a lapse in judgment. Like, I've had friends that have been asked out on dates, and they're like, yeah, let's just go night hiking, and then they stumble across like mountain lions, and it's like, yeah, okay, let's go night hiking. That's a great idea. No,
Look.
I
Just
like
no.
night hiking.
No.
I do.
Hold on. With someone you trust in
Yes.
an area you know, yes.
That.
On a first date,
No,
let's do it,
That's-
Jeffrey Dahmer.
that's
Sounds
murder.
great.
That's straight murder.
No.
It's just looking back and thinking about some of the like first dates. It's like, you know what? They're probably not great. Probably not great, guys.
Utah's VFX, our social media. You can share your awkward first date, and we will keep it anonymous. I mean, can anybody compete with the McCall Taylor?
Oh, I'm sure there are people that can.
Whose mom just had to be called so many
Dude,
times.
seriously, and bless my mom, because I was always like, oh, and then there was the first date that I got asked on that the guy was like, yeah, we'll totally go. And I didn't have like my debit card with me. I had my mom's debit card with me. And the guy was like, oh no, we're all separate.
Yeah, we're going Dutch.
Yeah, everybody's separate. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I had to use my mom's debit card because I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna sit out in the hall and you guys watch the movie and have a good time.
Call your mom and get her to pick you up. Yo, I was going to buy
Hey, Mom, will you come
This
pick
seems to
me
be a
up?
reoccurring theme.
Yep.
So we've been talking about the dating thing and then the couples dating thing. I think it's good, right? You got to have good conversation. You got to keep it moving a little bit. You can't have a big lull.
For sure.
So hopefully you know enough about something that's interesting to keep the conversation going. And maybe, just maybe, push comes to shove, you could throw out a random fact, and that could be just enough of a buzz to get some kind of conversation started. Question is, what kind of random facts do you know? Got to keep the conversation moving, and sometimes a random fact can be a lifesaver. Hopefully, it's not one of those ones you say and people are like, okay, this dude is weird.
And you are crazy.
AJ McCall at VFX, and I didn't know this, so random fact for you. If you Google random fact, it'll generate them for you. You can go next.
Yep.
Like mine says, do plants move on their own? And then it's a very inconclusive answer as far as I'm concerned. It's like, plants don't move like animals, but they can show movements like growth and leaves, and they'll turn towards the sun. I'm like, so the answer is yes. They just don't move a ton.
Well, my random fact that it just says is, why do some buildings have gravel on the roof? It says traditionally, most flat roofs in the Western world make use of tar or, more usually, tar paper applied to roof decking to keep a building watertight. Whatever.
Actually,
They do the tar paper to keep it, like, cooler.
on the subject of plants, not a random fact, just a random thought I had, and it came up in my memories the other day. So, like, I don't know if you've seen that TikTok video, but a few people have done it, but it talks about the number of people that have died from certain things. It'll show, like, toilet, cow, like, coconuts killed. It's X amount of people each year, and it's a ridiculous number. How many people do you think, if Venus flytraps grew to, like, huge people size, how many people?
4.
4 a year? Because it's not going to be 0.
No,
People
it'd
are
probably
too
be
dumb.
4.
People will just run into it, and the planet will be like, yes, score.
Just
Gotcha.
stay in there, and it's like, I'm taking a nap. Taking a nap. Oh my gosh! The one that I just got is, can trees explode from freezing?
Oh, I would like to know the answer to this question, actually.
Yes. It says that cold weather will cause some trees to explode by freezing the sap because it contains water which expands as it freezes, creating a sound like a gunshot. The sound is produced as a tree bark splits with the wood contracting as the sap expands. Interesting.
Good news. All the moons in the solar system, minus 2 of Jupiter's, are smaller than Mercury.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
That includes our moon, which is apparently a lemon. The random fact we started the day off
That's
with.
right. Did you know you have 10 pints of blood in your body?
That's it? I
Yep.
feel like it'd be more. Don't
Nope.
you donate 2 when you go and donate? Or no, it's 1. It's 1 pint, right?
As somebody who has only donated one time and passed out on the sidewalk on their way back to seminary at school, I have no idea. I don't think I would have remembered that.
10 pints. Yeah, 1 pint. That's crazy. You donate 10% of your blood?
Ta-da! That's really generous.
Yeah, that's a lot.
They say you should give
You
10%.
tied.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say. Dang it!
I thought for sure you
Tithe
had more.
your body.
I don't like that. I mean, it's not going to stop me, but it makes me uncomfortable. That just feels like you're, I mean, it's still 90%, which I guess is a high number,
Dude.
but
2,000 trees are cut down a minute.
that's a lot. That is a lot of trees.
It's more than one.
I don't think you can bring that up at dinner, though, because then, where do you go with that conversation?
That's just a conversation ender.
Yeah,
That's
I feel
what
like
that
you
is.
start skewing towards political issues and everything. I was like, all right, well, this is a mistake. I'm leaving. Deuces. Speaking of random facts, you know, any amount of time you spend around with someone, as long as it's a significant amount of time, is going to affect them. Mannerisms, language. Heck, we just had this conversation. There's an intern here that one of our coworkers was giving a bunch of crap because of his language. I was like, nah, it's my fault. Don't blame him. We've done the straw poll. It's me.
Yeah.
It's 100% me. We've done this. But, that's not just limited to adults. Of course, obviously, also kids. Now, McCall would not be the one that says, hey, I'm a mom. But let's be honest. We've heard her talk about her dogs.
I love my dogs.
And
I love
apparently,
them.
they are also capable of picking up weird new habits.
Sure are.
I would not describe myself as a dominating personality. Dominating use of the F word. I've got that down. AJ and McCall at VFX. And
He's
I think
talking fun.
anybody that spends enough time with me, you soon will as well. We've done a straw poll. McCall,
Done a straw poll.
producer Butters, AJ, Kevin Tron, and now intern Cody. They've all seen the color of their language change the longer
been
they spend
filtered.
around me.
It's been filtered. That's for sure.
So I was thinking about this because we'll get into McCall's story, but should I be concerned, like, if, like, I have friends that are, you know, have kids, and friends are getting to that age where they start having kids.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not letting the expletives fly when I'm spending time with them, but I should I be concerned about the imprint I might leave?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
So I was thinking about this the other day. Dustin and I were just chatting about it because back when we were living in Vernal, we had a dog that somebody just dropped off on the side of the road.
How dare they?
Her name was Missy. She was really sweet. She sat there and waited for like 3 days for her people to come back, like right in front of our yard. And then finally we like coaxed her into the house because it was like, sorry, sweets, they're not coming back, right? So coaxed her in. She had this habit where she would like take socks So Dustin would get ready for a shower or whatever, and so he'd put his socks out with his clothes, and like as soon as Dustin turned off the water to get out of the shower, Missy would run in, grab his socks, and take them into the living room. Like, it was just so random. So Missy taught Yogi because at that point in time he was little, that socks were takeable items. And so Yogi grabbed Dustin's socks one time, and Dustin got after him for it, because he took them outside or whatever. And Dustin got after him for it. And then after that point, Yogi, who's like a Border Collie Lab mix, he would not go outside until after Dustin had showered. Because he was like, oh, if I go outside right now, Dad's going to scold me, so I can't. But he wasn't scolding him for the outside part. He was scolding him for the don't take my freaking socks part. So Yogi has started taking socks again. Teasel has started taking socks again. Yogi grabbed some once upon a time, and I was like, Yogi, knock it off. And now he's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I should never do that again. But Teasel now does this thing where she like brings me socks. I'm like, Teasel, stop. So then I go take them, put them back where they were. Then I go sit back down. Sure enough, the next thing I know, bam, right there, sock. Teasel, put it back. That's my sock. Leave it alone. I know, okay? I have those. Those are mine. Correct. I only have 2 feet, and those 2 feet currently have socks on them. So please stop bringing me socks. I don't need more. Thank you. But it's their new habit that they've been picking up. And I'm like, can you guys not, please?
Hit them with socks. Then they'll be afraid of socks. Problem solved. Got you covered.
Man, it's so sweet though. Like, she just looks so sensitive whenever she looks at me with the socks. She's like, "Here, Mom, I got these for you." Wow, thank you. Thanks, I don't need them.
Just wouldn't be the end of a week if I didn't get to point and laugh and say, "Ha, you idiot! You shouldn't park like that."
Yeah.
AJ and McCall at VFX. Park Narcs comes to its conclusion. Once again, nominee number 1. Gotta take them all. Big old truck backed into 2 visitor parking spots because, McCall, when you got a truck like this, you need space.
Yeah, you should.
Jerk.
Yeah.
Nominee number 2. There's enough room for someone else now. Yeah, if you pull into the special needs spot and you go, oh, crap, I don't have one of those passes. The stripy rectangle. Then I'm completely out of the way. No, that's not how it works.
No, you can't park there.
I keep taking it as a sign that something is sort of sticking, because we've had a couple nominees like this where they don't completely park. This one's sort of in the special needs spot. I take it as a sign something sort of sticky. It's like, there's something about this I'm not supposed to do. So close. So close. That being said, I'll tell you this. Someone said that number 2 has more than enough votes and voted for number 1. It was a crushing victory for Narker number 2.
Yeah.
Congratulations for finding the worst parking spot in Cache Valley this week. So that means they're going to get the Aquatech car wash. We're going to hook them up with some McDonald's as well, which you can win. Submit your Park Narc nominees, because really now you got a double chance to win, because submitting and voting can win you McDonald's meals throughout the week. And then, of course, if yours is picked and it competes week to week, each week with the for the worst parking job in Cache Valley, then you got a chance to double up your dubs.
Yeah.
So submit them safely. Take the pictures. Submit them safely to Utah's VFX, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. UT85 to 3800. And we totally expect to see a lot more Park Narc nominees flooding the box this weekend, because we know with the holidays, people are going to be rushed. Shall I say rushed?
I was just going to say parking like tools.
Okay, we'll go with that then. AJ McCall at VFX. Gonna steal it. VFX's Facebook roulette. AJ Knight McCall. That was terrifying. I was about ready to shout, "I think I'm about to steal!" right as a coworker walked in, and I was like, that probably shouldn't be said.
Yeah, probably not yelling. Probably not yelling across the station, but every once in a while, it's great.
AJ Knight McCall Taylor. Add us on Facebook as we like, comment, and share the post that we're gonna steal. McCall, what did you land on?
Well, I actually landed on a post that says, what is this show from? I think it's from that one that's Mama, that was like a horror flick or whatever. That's meme that she looks really scared and angry, and the lady's just like sitting back there. It says, "You think you could do these things, Nemo, but you can't." And it's Marlin yelling at Nemo on the couch because, he can't touch the butt.
I like my friend Patrick's. It's a picture that says growing up with siblings be like. They've got a sandwich cut in half with a tape measure, and they're getting down eye level with cups full of juice to make sure they're level. And then they've got a piece of chocolate with a ruler out that they're cutting in half to make sure everything is dead even.
That's impressive. You can win because that's how it went as siblings.
The AJ Knight, the McCall Taylor, finding at us across all social media. Yes, tomorrow is my birthday. Gifts graciously accepted.
Correct.
Though if you want a gift, might I suggest you find AJ and McCall, AJANDMCCALL on Facebook and Instagram, because I was forced against my will.
To have a good time.
No, I wouldn't describe it so much as have a good time.
I had a good time.
You ever see that scene in Mrs. Doubtfire where she's Robin Williams trying to hide his face because his mask fell out the window and he puts the cake on and he goes, hello!
It's some of that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Utah's VFX across all social media. Smith, you see bad parking, take a picture, send it to us, because just doing that could win you McDonald's just as well as voting could as well. And then find the podcast, the after show we're going to do on Twitch here in about 45 minutes. All you have to do for that is AJ Shift 7 McCall on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the long holiday weekend.
Yes, and please, let me plead with you for a very, very brief moment here. Be safe. Be responsible. We need you in our life. Okay? If you're gonna party, whatever, be safe. Be responsible. Call somebody. Be safe.
Well said, and it's Hell
Thanks, Mom.
Tuesday for the AJ and McCall show.
Don't do anything we wouldn't do.
And thanks for listening to VFX.